Hey, welcome. Today we're diving into microeconomics. And I know what you might be thinking. Graphs, charts, complicated stuff, right? But really, it's the story of the choices you make every single day. We're talking about everything from your morning coffee to your monthly budget and how all those tiny decisions add up to shape the entire world. It all boils down to one very human question. Why can't we just have everything we want? I mean, we ask it when we look at our bank accounts, and whole nations ask it when they're setting their budgets. And believe it or not, this one simple question is the absolute heart of all economics.
So here's our game plan. First, we're going to tackle the one single problem that drives everything in economics. Then, we'll zoom right in to see how you make choices. After that, we'll see what happens when millions of us get together in the marketplace. We'll also look at what happens when that system kind of stumbles. And finally, we'll pack you a toolkit with the core ideas you can use, well, every day. All right, so what is this one fundamental problem that kicks off this whole chain reaction? Let's get right into it. The big word is scarcity. And honestly, it's a super simple idea. It just means that our wants are basically unlimited, but our resources, things like time, money, and materials, are definitely not. This mismatch is what forces everyone, from you and me to entire countries, to make choices. Scarcity is, quite literally, the reason economics even exists.
Okay, so if scarcity forces us to choose, what does that actually look like in real life? Let's bring this right down to a personal level.
So let's meet our friend Alfonso. His situation is pretty simple. He's got $10 for the week, and he can spend it on two things he likes: burgers and bus tickets. This is what economists call a budget constraint, but really it's a situation we all know intimately, right? He can't have all the burgers and all the bus rides he wants. He's got to choose. So check out this table. It lays out all of Alfonso's options. If he decides to go all in on burgers, that's combination A, he gets 5 of them, but he has $0 left for bus tickets. But look down at combination C. If he wants to take the bus 8 times, he has to give up 2 of those burgers. See the pattern? Every single choice he makes means giving something else up. It's a classic trade-off. And this brings us to one of the most important ideas in all of economics: opportunity cost. You see, the true cost of something isn't just the price on the tag. For Alfonso, the real cost of buying one more burger isn't just $2. It's the 4 bus tickets he can no longer afford. That's the opportunity he lost. So remember this: every choice you make has an opportunity cost. It's simply the value of the next best thing you had to give up. Okay, so that's what's happening at the individual level. But what happens when you get millions of Alfonsos out there, all making their own choices and trading with each other? Well, that's when you get a market. And a market doesn't have to be a physical place, like some big, fancy stock exchange. Nope, it can be a website, an app on your phone. Really, it's just anywhere that buyers and sellers can connect and make a deal.
And all these connections create this powerful engine for the economy, which we can visualize as a circular flow. Think of it like a constant dance between households, that's us, and firms. We provide our labor, and firms pay us wages. Then we turn around and use those wages to buy the very goods and services those firms produce. It's this continuous loop of money and resources flowing back and forth, all happening in the marketplace.
Now let's look inside these markets. What makes prices go up and down? Let's imagine you're trying to buy concert tickets for a huge artist, and the price is just sky high. How do you and other people react to that? Well, it's pretty much exactly what you'd expect, right? Most of us buyers see that crazy high price and think, no way, not worth it. But the sellers? Oh, they're thrilled. They're eager to sell as many tickets as they can at that price. And this creates an imbalance. You have way more tickets available than people who are actually willing to buy them. Economists call that a surplus. Okay, so let's flip it around. What happens if, for some reason, the price is really, really low? Now you've got the exact opposite story. The tickets are a total bargain. So, of course, buyers are rushing in trying to get a great deal. But the sellers? They're not so enthusiastic now. They aren't making much profit, so maybe they hold some tickets back. And this creates a whole new problem. Tons of demand, but not nearly enough tickets to go around. That's a shortage. So you see, you get surpluses when prices are too high, and you get shortages when they're too low. The market is always pushing and pulling, searching for that sweet spot right in the middle. That spot is called equilibrium. It's that magic price where the number of tickets for sale perfectly matches the number of fans who want to buy them. And this isn't just some abstract theory.
It's the logic behind things like surge pricing for ride-sharing apps, where the price adjusts in real time to find that perfect balance.
Now, that equilibrium model is incredibly powerful, but it's not the whole story. The real world is messy, and sometimes the actions of buyers and sellers end up creating consequences for people who had nothing to do with the deal in the first place.
So that market model is beautiful and elegant, but it works on the assumption that the price a buyer pays covers all the costs. But what happens when a transaction creates costs that spill over onto other people, people who had no say in the matter? I want you to think about a factory that's making your smartphone. The buyer pays a price, and the factory covers its costs for labor and materials. But what if that factory pollutes a nearby river? The cost of that pollution, the damage to the environment, the impact on the local community's health, that cost isn't included in the phone's price tag. This spillover cost has a name. It's a negative externality. And it's a huge deal because it means the market is failing. The price is sending the wrong signal. The phone is artificially cheap because society is quietly picking up the tab for that pollution. Whew, we have covered a lot of ground, haven't we? We went from a single $10 budget all the way to the complexities of market failures. So let's wrap this all up by putting these ideas together into a practical toolkit you can actually use. Because look, the goal here isn't to get you to memorize a bunch of definitions for a test. It's to help you learn a new way of thinking. Economics is kind of like a carpenter's toolkit. It gives you a set of really powerful instruments to help you take apart and understand the complicated puzzles all around you. So here they are, the 5 core tools for your new economic toolkit. First up, scarcity, the fundamental reason we have to choose it all. Then you have trade-offs, which is the act of choosing one thing over another. Next, opportunity cost, the tool that reveals the true cost of any decision. Then there's supply and demand, the invisible forces that set the prices you see every single day. And finally, externalities, the crucial reminder that our choices often have hidden costs and benefits that can affect everyone. With this toolkit, you are now equipped to see the world a little differently. You can start to decode the hidden logic behind the news headlines, your own financial choices, and the really complex systems that run our world. So the real question I have for you is this: what puzzles are you going to solve first?